and welcome to Prime Business. I am Pius Kojobaka, and looking at our stories. The United Nations World Economic Situation and Prospects 2026 report has revealed that Ghana will face mounting labor market pressure in 2026. Winston Taki tells us more.
Ghana's labor market is under growing pressure in 2026 as job creation continues to lag behind a rapidly expanding workforce and new technologies begin to reshape employment. The World Economic Situation and Prospects 2026 report warns that across Africa, youth unemployment remains high and informal work continues to dominate. In Ghana, this means many young people are entering an economy where stable formal jobs are increasingly hard to find. The report also highlights the growing impact of artificial intelligence on jobs. Routine clerical and administrative roles in sectors such as banking, public administration, and customer services are becoming more vulnerable as automation expands. While AI is expected to create new opportunities in digital services and fintech, many entry-level workers risk being left behind. For Ghana, the challenge is clear. Without urgent investment in skills development, retraining, and stronger social protection, the benefits of technology may not reach the wider workforce.
Reacting to the development, the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management urged business owners to invest in developing their worker skills to remain relevant in an AI-driven economy. This call comes amid concerns that artificial intelligence could lead to rising unemployment in Ghana. Speaking to Joy Business, former president of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management, Dr. Edward Kwapong, emphasized that businesses must prioritize upskilling and reskilling their employees to leverage AI opportunities and migrate job displacement.
Well, obviously, digital skills are very important. Converting raw data into processed data for decision making, yes, we should start training people to learn the import of AI. AI essentially mimics the human brain in operating and giving solutions, and therefore you should try to encourage people to move into the digital space, understand analytics, and help reduce or perhaps make production more efficient and precise. We should first and foremost seek to know the areas that AI can easily be deployed. And once we have identified those areas, then we prepare the minds of those holding positions now who will know the possible impact of AI on their jobs.
Now, the Bank of Ghana has admitted 6 companies into its regulatory sandbox as part of efforts to support financial innovation while maintaining market integrity. There is more in this report.
The companies admitted are Transika Limited, One Africa Securities Limited, Mansu Technologies Limited, Payafrine Ghana Limited, Akuna Wallets Limited, and Afrix Paycoin Limited. In a statement, the Bank of Ghana said the Sandbox initiative will focus on activities related to the exchange, custody, administration, and issuance of virtual assets. The program is designed to allow regulators to access emerging financial technologies in a controlled environment before introducing formal regulations. The central bank stressed that participation in the sandbox does not amount to full regulatory approval. It also reserved the right to withdraw approval for any participating entity that fails to meet performance expectations or comply with applicable requirements. The regulatory sandbox forms part of the Bank of Ghana's broader strategy to balance innovation in the financial sector with consumer protection and financial system stability.
And to some other stories, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority has announced plans to begin a strict digital payment system at all offices across the country. The move is aimed at eliminating corruption at the authority and promoting efficiency. Chief Executive of DVLA, Julius Nikwe-Kote, disclosed this to journalists when he gave an account of his stewardship for the first 1 year in office.
According to the DVLA, using cash payment is going to be phased out at all health centers to promote digital payment and accountability. This will therefore complement efforts by the authority to improve services and make it profitable for government. According to the Chief Executive Julius Nikwe-Kote, point-of-sale devices will be distributed for account officers to be used in receiving payment.
We are moving from the cash system to the cashless system. That one, we've even started the piloting already. There is what IPP Pro. If you go to ECG, they don't deal with cash anymore. Most of our institutions now, DVLA, we are moving to cashless. So those who have been putting the goro in their work, and you go and do it. I'll see how you put the POS machine in the work and go and do it. Yes. So we are moving to strictly cashless system. Very soon, the piloting has started already, and very soon we'll train. So the banks, we've held meetings with them, we've told them very soon they'll be moving from our premises because we are going to deal with strictly cashless as a system.
He also announced a growth of 39% in their finances for the year 2025.
Yeah, we made the financial growth, we increased it to, we made, let me say, 39% revenue growth. So in the year 2025, what was expected of us, we increased it by 39% financially. And it's all because of the DP sticker, which which came into being, and then other places we have to block leakages at. So that's what we gain financially. And we use the money to buy cars. Or we shouldn't buy cars for our operation.
So far, the authority is in the process of activating the 24-hour economy in all its stations.
Former president of the Association of Ghana Industries, Mr. Tony Otingyesi, is urging government to take advantage of the current environment to press ahead with its industrialization drive. Speaking at the investiture ceremony of the new president and council members of AGI, Mr. Otingyesi noted that government must engage more with industry players to facilitate this move.
This is therefore a unique time to look at industrializing, and to start with, we have to look at a proper and well thought out manufacturing agenda and manufacturing policy. I'm sure Ministry of Trade will tell you they have a manufacturing policy, but between us here, we know that it could do with much improvement and it could be made much more useful. A manufacturing policy with an implementation program and cross-sector linkages spelled out along with costs and revenues and job creation analysis. The value chain approach will be my recommendation, the start for such a policy. Recently, fortunately for us, in addition to a robust macroeconomic situation which we have in the country now, a presidential advisory group on the economy was launched, which includes some of the most distinguished and experienced private sector leaders in the country. I'm talking about Mr. Kwame Pienim, Ishmael Yamson, and Togbe Afedi. These are persons who have all been involved in manufacturing and understand the opportunities, the challenges, the barriers, and even more importantly, they understand the factors which drive manufacturing.
To the agri sector now, and the chief executive of the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana, Anthony Morrison, is urging government to close existing loopholes and clamp down on the smuggling of oil palm products into the country, warning that the practice is crippling local producers. Speaking to Joy Business, he stressed the need for government to strengthen controls and monitor the customs division of the Ghana Revenue Authority to reduce incidences of smuggling and protect the domestic agribusiness value chain.
The Minister for Finance, the Bank of Ghana, the Presidency, they have to stamp the authority, get additional lay structure to evaluate the work of customs officials in critical imports. Okay, where government knows that these sectors are very critical to the economy, they make sure they police it in a manner that gives the country the kind of revenue that we require. But if you are looking at the way people have put in a lot of investment, some of these organizations or companies have employed over 1,000 people, and there are several other dependents on them. Assuming they close it, Will this 5% smuggled people be able to contain and be able to employ some of these people who lose their businesses? And also come to think of the fact that this is a huge value chain. And there is every necessary need for us to be able to come in, put in the kind of system that has to be put in to put a stop. For us at the chamber, we are clear. As a country, we do not need importation of oil or rice. Ban them. Tell the hard truth to Ghanaians. We are going to ban rice and ban oil so that for the next 6 to 1 year, we will go through the little aspects, but for the next 3 years, we will correct everything and make sure Ghanaians benefit and Ghanaians are happy.
As the world marks International Clean Energy Day, the Ghana Jet Program Team Lead, Eugene Sangmote, says Ghana must urgently focus on cleaner transport solutions to meet its climate targets. With the country aiming to cut greenhouse gas emissions by 15% by 2030, stakeholders under the Ghana Jet Program, a UK government flagship initiative, believes cleaner vehicles and affordable financing could drive an inclusive green energy future. More in this report.
International Clean Energy Day, instituted by the United Nations, highlights the global shift towards low-emission energy systems. According to team lead of the Ghana Jet Program, Eugene Sangmote, the day offers Ghana an opportunity to spotlight the transport sector, which remains one of the country's biggest contributors to energy-related emissions and a key focus area under Ghana's climate commitments.
International Clean Energy Day is very significant. As instituted by the UN to be observed across all the nations of the world. Ghana equally observes this. And it's important for Ghana because under the nationally determined contributions, Ghana has an unconditional target of reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 15% by the year 2030. You know, the automotive sector is a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions and forms part of the transportation sector that accounts for nearly half of all energy-related emissions. So it's important that we celebrate this day, bringing into perspective and into focus how the automotive sector specifically can help and accelerate Ghana's push to cleaner energy and make it available for all.
On affordability, President of the Ghana Automobile Distributors Association and Chief Operating Officer of Rana Motors, Kasim Odemat, says expanding access to structured auto financing is critical to making newer, cleaner and safer vehicles accessible to ordinary Ghanaians.
We can work on the affordability and have more access being given to all citizens to have access to better financing, maybe lower interest financing, so they can have access to new assembled vehicles. Already the new vehicle assembled vehicles have certain incentives which makes it more affordable, but also by having a financial scheme that is being backed would also make it more affordable for people to be buying assembled vehicles, new assembled vehicles, instead of buying used vehicles.
As Ghana pushes towards its 2030 emissions target, stakeholders say cleaner transport, supported by inclusive financing and policy reform under initiatives like Ghana Jet, could play a decisive role in delivering affordable mobility and low-carbon future.
More within the energy space, Executive Director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, Benjamin Isia, is urging the National Petroleum Authority and the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies to bring finality to the price floor policy disputes. Now, speaking to Joy Business, he noted that this is necessary to ensure a stable fuel market and protect consumers.
The COMAC is an organization that protects the interests of sellers or retailers in our petroleum downstream. And for that matter, COMAC will support any policy that ensures that their prices are quite higher, because a price floor in its economic theory sense is a price that is above the equilibrium price. And any price that is set above the equilibrium price benefits the sellers more than the buyers. And for that matter, if COMAC comes to say that they support it, or Senior Kumi comes to say he supports it, he's supporting it because it is going to benefit the industry and not consumers. And that is why I think that the MPA and COMAC themselves should engage the CSOs and other consumer advocacy groups so that we bring finality to this particular conversation, because most of the arguments that they've churned out or they've brought out with respect or in supporting of this price floor do not stand. One, they earlier introduced that the price floor was to curb some undercutting, irregularity or illegal practices within the petroleum downstream. They've never given us any evidence of undercutting illegal practices of any kind for us to know that yes, there is data to support what they are arguing or what their position has been.
Let's now go to the commodities market. Glad you could make time to watch Prime Business. I am Pius Kojobaka. Prime Sports is next. To have a lovely weekend.